Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you, rejection is not the finish line, it's the starting block of greatness. Too many people allow one closed door to convince them that the house of their dreams doesn't exist. But rejection doesn't mean you're not worthy. It means life is redirecting you to dig deeper, fight harder, and prove to yourself what you are truly capable of. Every no you've ever heard can be turned into the fuel that drives you forward. When someone tells you that you can't do it, don't let that break you. Let it build you. Don't use rejection as a reason to quit. Use it as a reason to work twice as hard. Think about it. Every person who has ever achieved greatness was once told they weren't good enough, smart enough, or strong enough. Yet they refused to believe the verdict of rejection and instead wrote their own story. Rejection sharpens us. It teaches us resilience. It strips away our comfort and forces us to discover the power inside of us that we never knew existed. When you're turned away, when you're laughed at, when doors close in your face, don't hang your head. Stand taller. Use that as evidence that you're on a path worth fighting for. The more rejection you face, the closer you are to something meaningful. Because rejection only shows up when you're aiming higher than average. Understand this: success is not built on ease. It's built on endurance. The fire in your heart has to burn hotter than the rejection at your door. People may doubt you, dismiss you, or even try to destroy you with their words, but they cannot stop you unless you hand over your power. Turn their doubt into drive. Turn their disbelief into determination. Let rejection become your teacher and your trainer, molding you into someone unshakable. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth is, rejection is not your enemy. It's your ally. It's the fire that forges your character, the pressure that creates your strength, and the push that forces you to rise higher than you thought you could. Don't let it stop you. Let it fuel you. Because when you refuse to surrender, when you transform rejection into relentless motivation, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Rejection is not the end. It's a redirection toward greater opportunities. Many people get crushed under the weight of rejection because they believe it defines their worth. But rejection does not say you are incapable. It simply says, this isn't the door for you right now. You see, life is not about getting everything you want the first time you ask for it. Life is about persistence, resilience, and an unwavering belief that if one door closes, another will open. The truth is, rejection is often the tool life uses to push us toward the place where we truly belong. Think about it. How many times have you wanted something so badly, only to later realize that not getting it was the best thing that could have happened to you? Sometimes the very thing we think is a loss is actually a setup for something greater. Rejection can sting. It can bruise. It can knock the wind out of you. But it can also redirect you to a higher path. The problem is, most people stop walking after rejection. They fold, they quit. They allow one no to cancel the future of many yeses. Rejection is not the period at the end of your story. It's a comma. It's life pausing you to prepare for something better. Some of the most successful people on this planet faced countless rejections before they were celebrated. Writers had manuscripts thrown away. Athletes were told they weren't good enough. Entrepreneurs were laughed at. But rejection did not bury them. It rerouted them. It redirected them to opportunities they would have never discovered if everything had gone smoothly. Rejection builds character. It teaches you to stretch beyond your comfort zone, to innovate, to adjust, to keep knocking until the right door swings open. And when that right door does open, you'll be ready, not fragile, not doubtful, but prepared and powerful. Because what rejection really does is strengthen your faith in yourself. It forces you to ask, do I want this badly enough to keep going? Am I willing to rise again after falling flat on my face? Ladies and gentlemen, if you can learn to embrace rejection as redirection, you will never see it as defeat again. Instead of crying over the closed doors, start celebrating them. Instead of asking, why me? Start asking, what's next? Every rejection is pointing you toward a greater opportunity. Something bigger than what you imagined. You might not see it now, but trust that rejection is life's way of saying, not here, not now, but keep moving forward. The key is to stop treating rejection like a dead end and start treating it like a detour. Because sometimes the detour will take you to a destination far greater than where the straight road would have led. Rejection is not the end. It is your redirection to destiny. Painful as it feels in the moment, rejection is one of life's greatest motivators. When someone tells you no, when a door slams in your face, when people dismiss your value, you have a choice. You can either let that rejection bury you, or you can let it fuel the fire inside of you. And I believe when rejection is handled with the right mindset, it becomes the spark that ignites relentless motivation. Because let's be real, nothing lights a fire in your soul like being told you can't do something. Nothing awakens the hunger within you like someone doubting your worth. Too often, people let rejection become the reason they stop trying. They allow the sting of that moment to settle into their spirit and convince them they are not enough. But those who win in life take rejection and transform it into fuel. They take every dismissal, every closed door, and they let it drive them harder, faster, and stronger toward their dreams. When someone tells them they can't, they answer back with action. They use rejection as proof, not of their failure, but of their potential to rise higher. Think of the great innovators, leaders, and dreamers of history. Do you think they didn't face rejection? Of course they did. They were laughed at, criticized, and dismissed. But instead of letting rejection crush their spirit, they let it sharpen their resolve. They decided, I'll show you. I'll turn this rejection into my relentless pursuit. That is the mindset of champions, turning pain into power and rejection into relentless motivation. You see, rejection can either weaken you or it can toughen you. It can either drain you or it can drive you. And when you decide to let it drive you, something powerful happens. You stop waiting for approval, you stop begging for validation, and you start working for your vision with everything inside of you. You no longer need applause or recognition, because rejection has taught you that the only approval you need is from the person in the mirror. So, the next time life says, no, don't hang your head. Don't sulk. Don't quit. Instead, say to yourself, this is fuel. This is fire. This is my reason to go harder. Rejection doesn't mean you're done. It means you're just getting started. Let the sting of that moment energize you. Let the doubt of others become the soundtrack of your determination. And let rejection remind you that the world doesn't decide your worth. You do. Because in the end, rejection is not your enemy. It is your ally. It is the hidden motivator that, if embraced, can carry you further than validation ever could. One of the greatest mistakes people make when dealing with rejection is internalizing it as truth. Just because someone rejected you doesn't mean you're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. It simply means that in that moment, they could not see your value. But hear me on this. Rejection is never the final verdict. It's just someone's opinion, and opinions are not destiny. The real danger isn't in the rejection itself, but in what you start telling yourself afterward. If you allow rejection to plant seeds of doubt in your mind, those seeds will grow into limitations that keep you from reaching your potential. Think about it. How many dreams have died not because they were impossible, but because someone believed the lie that rejection was a reflection of their worth? They gave up too soon, not realizing that rejection is often just redirection. It is life's way of saying, not here, not now, but keep moving. Too many people let the no become a period in their story when it was only meant to be a comma. The story wasn't finished. It was just being redirected to a better path. When you shift your perspective, rejection becomes less of a wound and more of a teacher. It teaches you resilience. It teaches you patience. It teaches you that you don't need everyone to say yes in order to fulfill your purpose. All you need is one door to open, and it will if you keep knocking. But you'll never get to that door if you let rejection stop you at the first one. Here's the truth. Rejection is proof that you're in the game. People who never face rejection are people who never try. They stay safe. They stay small and they stay comfortable. But if you've been rejected, it means you stepped out. You took a shot. You dared to believe in something bigger. And that in itself is a victory, because every rejection sharpens you, molds you, and prepares you for the moment when the right opportunity comes. Don't forget this: rejection is not a signal to quit. It's an invitation to grow. It's life's way of testing your commitment to what you say you want. Do you really want it? Or do you just want it if it's easy? Rejection separates the curious from the committed. And if you're committed, you won't stop because of a no. You'll use that no as fuel to work harder, learn more, and prove not just to others, but to yourself that you are worthy of the yes that's waiting for you. So, the next time rejection comes knocking, don't ask, why me? Instead, declare, try me. Because you are not defined by who rejects you. You are defined by how you respond. And when you respond with strength, persistence, and determination, rejection becomes the very thing that catapults you into the life you were destined to live. Persistence is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter if you come from privilege or poverty. If you were born with natural talent or not, persistence will take you places that talent without discipline can never reach. The truth is, most people stop at the first sign of difficulty. They hear a no, they face a setback. They stumble once, and they decide it wasn't meant to be. But those who achieve greatness aren't the ones who never fall. They are the ones who refuse to stay down. Persistence is about deciding that no matter how many times life knocks you down, you're going to stand up one more time than you fall. You see, Rejection and failure aren't signs that you're losing. They're signs that you're in motion. And motion creates progress, even when it doesn't feel like it in the moment. The road to success is filled with detours, potholes, and delays, but persistence allows you to keep moving forward despite them. Without it, you'll never make it past the first obstacle. With it, there is no obstacle that can ultimately stop you. The difference between people who succeed and people who give up is often just this: the willingness to persist when others walk away. Think about a sculptor chiseling away at a block of stone. With every strike of the hammer, it may seem like nothing is happening, but eventually the shape begins to reveal itself. That's how persistence works. Each effort, each attempt, each rejection that you push through is another strike of the hammer. It may look like small progress in the moment, but over time, those small strikes carve out the masterpiece of your destiny. The tragedy is that so many people stop before the image appears. They stop striking too soon, never realizing how close they were to breakthrough. Persistence also builds character. When you keep going despite rejection, despite fear, despite doubt, you develop a toughness that can't be taught in books or classrooms. You learn patience, grit, and the art of showing up even when your emotions tell you not to. That strength becomes part of who you are. And once you develop it, no one can take it from you. Opportunities may come and go, doors may open and close, but the persistence you've built will carry you to the next level every time. Never forget this. Persistence isn't glamorous. It's not the applause, it's not the spotlight, it's not the headlines. It's the daily grind, the quiet discipline, the unseen effort that compounds over time. But when you refuse to give up, when you keep showing up, life has no choice but to reward you. Because persistence has a voice, and it shouts louder than rejection. It says, I will not stop until I see this through. And that voice, spoken consistently, has the power to turn every no into a yes, and every setback into a setup for your comeback. Rejection may sting, but it can also sharpen you. Too many people take rejection as the end of the road, when in reality it's often the beginning of a new path. The pain of being told no can be fuel if you choose to see it that way. It can ignite something inside you that says, I will not let this define me. I will not let this stop me. When someone rejects you, what they're really doing is giving you an opportunity to prove them wrong. Not with anger, but with undeniable results. Think about this: every great innovator, every leader, every person who ever achieved something extraordinary faced rejection. Publishers rejected manuscripts that later became classics. Investors turned down ideas that later changed the world. Coaches benched players who went on to become legends. If rejection had the power to stop them, we would never know their names. What made the difference was their decision to transform rejection into rocket fuel. Instead of letting it crush their spirit, they let it sharpen their focus. Rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It's feedback. It may mean you need to improve, to adjust, or sometimes to find a different door to knock on. But it never means you should stop. The danger comes when you take rejection personally, when you allow it to crawl into your spirit and tell you that you're not good enough. That's the lie rejection whispers, and too many people believe it. But the truth is, rejection is redirection. It's pushing you toward growth, toward resilience, toward your next opportunity. Here's what happens when you reframe rejection. You stop fearing it. And when you stop fearing it, you start taking bold risks. You knock on doors others are afraid to touch. You put yourself out there again and again, not because you enjoy rejection, but because you know each no brings you one step closer to the right. Last, the world belongs to those who can withstand rejection without losing momentum. So the next time you face rejection, don't hang your head. Don't shrink back. Smile and say, "Thank you for the fuel." Use that sting to light a fire in your belly. Channel it into action, into persistence, into the drive to show up stronger and better. Because rejection isn't the end, it's the middle. And if you keep going, it becomes the very thing that propels you to your breakthrough. Remember this: rejection is not your enemy, it's your trainer. It disciplines you, it toughens you, it prepares you. When you embrace it, when you stop running from it, you'll discover that rejection is the greatest ally to your destiny. It pushes you out of comfort zones and into the arenas where greatness is built.